This is going to be a weekly feature in this group, The Future of Real Estate, and I am going to be answering your questions on branding, PR, how to grow your online profile, which translates to real estate really, really well. The press seems to favour controversial stories. How can I be controversial as a real estate agent professional, but also keep a professional image? That is a really good question. This is something that not just the real estate industry faces. It's a lot of technology companies that I work with. They want to do crazy stunts where they get PR, but then they don't want to come across, too crazy or too immature. So that's the problem that a lot of people face. And I think there is a line, and you have to learn, what that line is and where to cross it. I would say you can do some pretty fun stories in real estate. So, for example, perhaps there's a famous haunted house in your neighbourhood that you've just sold. Or perhaps because of Hurricane Imra, there was an alligator in the backyard of a local house and it was already covered in the news. So then what you would do is when that news comes out, you would do something called newsjacking. Now, newsjacking is where you basically jump on another piece of news that's already been published. So let's take that alligator news. You'd see that. And you'd jump on that house, you'd sell it, and then you'd write to the publication that covered the original story, and you'd say, hey, you know that alligator in the backyard? I just sold that house. And then that becomes a story in itself. Christopher Kuzman sells property in our neighbourhood with alligator in yard, or something like that. So funny, controversial, interesting stories are always the best. Perhaps there's a house that now has thousands of crabs and the seller is freaking out because they think nobody can sell their house. How are they going to get rid of all these crabs in their backyard? Well, maybe you could do a video series of rounding up all these crabs and them biting your fingers and putting them back in the sea and then selling the house. So it's all about storytelling. It's all about finding these crazy stories that happen and capitalising or newsjacking those stories.